active in Twitter, X, if you know it like that, and also you can connect with me in LinkedIn. So for today, I have for you who is Biz for Social Good, how it works, how this community is working right now, my personal experience participating in different projects, and also I'm going to try to inspire it and motivate you to get involved and also participate in the different projects that we are having. So first, why Biz for Social Good? So we are living right now in a data-driven world, and we are looking some non-profits. They are having challenges, and often they are lack of the time, and also for the people to focus on the data and also to take decision making from this data that they are collecting. Some companies, even Salesforce, are making survey of all of these nonprofits, and they
Um,
found like a lot of them have lack of data strategy, and also some of them doesn't have the professionals that are using the data to make decisions. So
Victor, sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you. I think that we cannot see your screen. Is that correct? And Kevin, can you see it? The screen?
That's correct. We're still looking at like your
Bar.
browser, looking at
yeah,
right, like
okay.
our part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, good catch, Emil. I'm actually trolling the chat for who do I know and
This
who
one.
do I need to
Yeah.
add on
Oh,
LinkedIn.
We cannot see the.
Yeah, we're still looking at Bevy.
That's right.
stop recording. Share window. Share screen. Share.
Right
Yeah,
now. Okay,
Yeah.
now it works.
Okay.
now,
Now
now
it
you're
works.
Oh, you
scrolling.
can see. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you, Kevin.
thank you. So this is what you are going to learn today, who's Peace for Social Good, how it works, my personal experience, and also I want to motivate you also to get into Peace for Social Good. What I was talking about is why do we need Biz for Social Good? Why do we need volunteers that help with visualizations with nonprofits? And the thing here is that some organizations have make surveys about how the data strategies are inside of these nonprofits, and we are having these numbers, like for example, 76% of nonprofits lack a data strategy, or for example, 60% of nonprofit professionals are not using data to make decisions. And we are already in this era where everything that we are doing is connected to data. So that's where Biz for Social Good enters into the picture. So Biz for Social Good is a community, you can see it as a network, but also is a group of data visualization volunteers. And what they do is that what we do is that we help nonprofits with their data strategy. We help mission-driven organizations to make social impact through visualization and also through storytelling, data storytelling. And we envision this world where everybody can benefit from data visualization. So this is a past conversation that we had in our meetings, presenting the works to the nonprofits, and also participating in different challenges. So how this for Social Good works? So we have the community of all of the volunteers, but at the same time we have a core team. This is the board of directors of Peace for Social Good. They are constantly connecting with different nonprofits, trying to make partnership with them to define projects. So they have to define the goals. They have to define who is going to be the audience, the outcomes that they're looking for, and also try to structure the data sets. The data sets for the volunteers. So once they select the nonprofit and also they set the dates, there is the project kickoff. In the project kickoff, Peace for Social Good, through all the social media, they start presenting, posting the different resources for the project. And also, most of the time, we have a first meeting with the nonprofit where the nonprofit is going to talk about their mission, the data that they have, the problems that they're facing, and also the challenges that they want the volunteers to help with. And in this situation, is a good opportunity for the volunteers just get into like the first communication with the nonprofit and trying to ask questions about things that they know that are going to help in developing the visualizations. After that meeting, then we start with the collaboration stage. Normally, the projects last 1 month, and here the volunteers can work individual or they can join teams. I have seen teams in cities, for example, Chicago. Kevin is going to talk about that later. Inside of companies, also they try to make a group to participate in the same project, but you can also do it by yourself. And normally, well, this for social good is tool agnostic, but normally most of the visualization that we have seen are made in Tableau Public. It's like 90% of the visualization are from Tableau. Then once you finish your visualization, then you have the submission. In this case, you fill a form with the link to your infographic, to your dashboard, or anything that you have developed, and you have the option. We ask if you want to present in the live session to the nonprofit. And I think it's a very good opportunity because of the visibility that you gain from presenting not just to the nonprofit, but other data visualization peers that are also interested about social impact. And then we have post submission. So what happened next after we finish with all of these data visualization and the work with the volunteers? Normally, we have seen that the volunteers are using, myself include, are using the works in their resumes. And yeah, I mean, this is like working with real companies and it's challenges of 1 month that you can include inside of your projects. But also, some companies often also contact some of the volunteers to make some changes in their visualization to finalize them and use them in their social media, in their web page, and also they can use it in workshops or for educational purposes. So I have here some of the selected work. These are some of the visualizations that you are going to see in the live presentations. So you can see the quality of the visualizations that we are going to encounter in the presentations. And also another thing is that Beats for Social Good has like a global reach. You're going to see here, for example, here I have Sunny Street. This is a nonprofit based in Australia where they are trying to help the healthcare of the homeless individuals. And we have here the visualization that was developed by Nicole Klassen. We also have work with the World Health Organization with people with disabilities. There was a data set about them, and we were trying to show also how this disparity between disability and not disability. And also we have here a project with a nonprofit base in Canada. This is the Downey and Wenjack Fund. In this one, they were trying to collaborate to bring together Indigenous and non-Indigenous people together in Canada. So you can see that there are so many countries here, and also the volunteers. If I start talking about their nationalities, you're going to see Japan, for example. I'm coming from Colombia. So yeah, there is like a mix of everything here. In this point, what I want to show you is the webpage of Biz for Social Good. This is the webpage, bizforsocialgood.com. And the part that I want to show you right now is about the projects. So here you're going to find all the previous projects and also the current project that we are working right now, that is the Global Deaf Research Institute. But what I want to point out here is that Biz for Social Good has become also a kind of database, sorry. And if you're interested in try to do it by yourself right now, one of the previous projects, you're going to find here all the data sets published, and also you're going to find the final visualizations that were delivered in the live presentations. So I wanted to show you, for example, if I just go inside of this one, you're going to see the name of the project. They are going to share some resources, the call to action, what their organization is expecting from the volunteers, the target audience. Sometimes you're going to find also some design guidelines from the companies, the data sets, and also you're going to find the key dates. And that's the kickoff, the submission deadline, and also the live presentation. Okay, So here, I wanted to share with you a little bit about my personal experience. So I have been volunteering with Bees for Social Good since August of last year, and I have the opportunity to participate in 4 different projects. As you can see, I was trying to put here the tools that I was using for the visualizations. I use Tableau Public. If you go to my Tableau Public account, you can see different visualization for this for social good. But I also have used, for example, Figma for some prototyping. Also, I use my iPad for some sketching, and Python for data transformation and processing. So I just wanted to show you also the diversity of the outcomes that you can have in these projects. And I think it's when I started the conversation, I say I'm an information designer. I don't want to say like I'm just making a dashboard or I'm just making infographics. And that's like something else that I really enjoy about Biz for Social Good. And is this diversity of outcomes that you can have in all of this world of data visualization. So I want to share with you like the behind the scenes of what was like my experience, like my first project in Biz for Social Good and how it has evolved since that point. So my first project, it was with organization that is called CPI. CPI is a think tank that is based in Colombia, and they're specialized in sustainable development goals, mainly for the countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. And they have developed a quality index for the voluntary national reports that countries delivered to the United Nations every year to showcase the progress of the Sustainable Development Goals. So they share with us this methodology of how they were calculating the quality of all of these reports and how the countries were behaving towards the goals. And they were asking us, we need your help with support decision makers in monitoring what is happening with the countries, especially in Latin America and the Caribbean. So one of the things is that this was my first business dashboard in Tableau. So in that point, I was just like learning how to use Tableau. It was just last year, learning how to use Tableau. And at first, I have, let me, yeah, zoom here. At first, I was just trying to collect all the metrics, KPIs, map, the different structures with the information and the insights that I was collecting from all the information that they share with us. As you can see, this is the initial design when I was integrating the brand colors from this company. And one of the things that I really enjoy about Biz for Social Good is that you have this connection with the organization as is they were your client. So after I just finished my initial design, I contacted somebody inside of CPI. We have a conversation, we have a Zoom call, and inside of that conversation, this person was giving me feedback about, okay, maybe this in the indicator is not the one that we are looking for. You can change it for this one. And also they were just like giving me some insights about the organization of some of these visualizations that I have inside of the dashboard. And also, not just the same organization, in Tableau, in the data farm, you're going to find a lot of initiatives. One of them is Biz Office Hours. I remember that after that meeting, I just implement all the changes, and I also attend to this Biz Office Hours. This is an initiative by Nicole Klesen and Michelle Freeman, and they are having meetings, I think it's Wednesday and Friday. I know that there is one tomorrow, where you can take your sketches, you can take your initial designs, your final visualization, and then you are going to receive feedback about the usability, about the content that you're having, the colors that you're having. And it was very nice because as you can see here, I have like a vertical column here for the menus, and they were just like, okay, maybe you can use horizontal. It's going to look better this way. And also it helped me a lot because I was just having a lot of options and I wanted to include more options. And you're going to see the final version. This was the final version that I deliver thanks to all the feedback that I received from the community and also from the nonprofits. So this is like when you're working with Biz for Social Good, it's not just yourself, but also all the people that wants to contribute to the same cause. In this case, I deliver a business dashboard where they can, I can show you here too. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, where you can start looking at the evolution of the quality index that they develop inside of the company. They also have a map of the quality among all the countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. Also, inside of the quality index, they have some dimensions, and I wanted to point out which dimensions were the ones that they have to work more with the countries. So they can go to these countries and ask another countries that have best practices to start sharing with all of them. And one of the features that I like the most is this kind of list of the evolution for each country. So for example, if I want to see how Argentina is behaving with the quality of the voluntary national reports, I can just click here and wait. Maybe refresh, then I'm going to show you. Yeah, there. So you can start playing with each country and try to see if they're raising or decreasing the quality of their reports. So this project was very interesting. For my personal takeaways, I had my first business dashboard in my portfolio. Also, the company contacted me after I finished the live session. They wanted me to make some changes in the visualization, and then they published this dashboard inside of their webpage. Also, they mentioned potential for future collaborations. So something that just started like volunteering in the future can also transform in some freelance jobs with these companies. And also, well, Kevin have already presented himself. I continue a mentorship with one of the participants of the meeting, Kevin, for another project in Biz for Social Good. So the second project, I know that this is not Tableau, and this is a Tableau user group, but as a data practitioners, I think sometimes we have to get out of our comfort zone. And for last year, this was such a good try to make a interesting challenge. So they wanted to try something with data physicalization. They wanted to call all the volunteers to showcase environmental impact, but you cannot use any BI tool. You can only use physical objects. And well, at first I have my doubts about it, but yeah, it was very interesting the outcome of this project too. And I was telling you, um, yeah, it's nice when you just get outside of this comfort zone of just being with your computer, just making dashboards, because it also making me realize how my creative process works. So I wanted to show you a little bit of the process. I remember that for this project I wasn't prepared, but I mean, you can just start by doing something, and I started by collecting different ideas of data physicalization and also by collecting ideas of environmental impact. And at that time, I was traveling in Turkey. I remember that one day I was just like looking the leaves during the fall season, and I was just like, "Hey, what if I just can just take all these leaves and just make a heat map?" It was funny because you're going to see this is the only part where I use Tableau. I get to my house, I download the information of the global temperature, and then I try to make this heat map with the colors of the leaves. And then I say like, yeah, I only need like 5 colors. So another day, I just went outside, I start collecting all the leaves, I start cutting them, and then I just place in the same place as the heat map that I'm showing you right here. And at the end, I just this one. This is a physical heat map showcasing global temperatures using leaves of different colors. I really enjoy doing this. As I said, and I was putting here, the creative process is something that I was very interested about, like how does it work, like preparation, incubation, when you get the idea, when you evaluate if it is going to work or not, and then you start elaborating this idea. So yeah, I really enjoy learning about it and also the research that I was doing about it. And after the live presentation, it was the summit of the end of the year. The education director approached me and she told me like it would be a nice idea to share this project with the Nightingale. The Nightingale is the journal of the Data Visualization Society, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think they're going to receive this, but I pitched the idea to the journal, and now we also have a publication, The Lessons from Physicalizing Data for a Better World, from a project for Peace for Social Good inside of this recognized magazine in the data visualization world. So this work, it doesn't have a specific nonprofit. It was more educational project. And at the end, it was so inspiring how we just end up publishing this into the Nightingale. So again, it's incredible how we can just start applying different outcomes for all of these projects. Okay. The third one, in this one, Bees for Social Good is also a nonprofit. And this time, Bees for Social Good decided to share their own data to enhance their mission. And they have a very big, ambitious goal at the beginning when I was just reading about the information that they were sharing with us. So they were trying to indicate to the volunteers, like we need to show the positive impact that we are making with all the challenges that we are doing. We are helping building bridges. We are helping homeless people. We are helping companies that are helping with the SDGs. We need to show like this positive impact that we are making with Peace for Social Good. And we also want to encourage and support the support and engagement with the different audiences that we have. So we have the volunteers, we have the charities, we have the funders, we have the community that is not participating, but is also interested about positive impact. So they're seeing everything that is going on. So for this project, I have the opportunity to collaborate with Kevin Ford. He's going to talk a little bit about this, but in this point, I want to tell you that for this project, Kevin shared with me something that is called the solution framework. This is a tool that he used inside of his company, and then he shared with me during our mentorship sessions, and I was just like, okay, for this project, I'm going to try to solve a data analytics project using the solution framework. So first, in the solution framework, the first step is trying to understand the problem, trying to understand your audience. What are the questions that they are having towards the goal that you want to achieve? And well, at this point, I was a little confused because the goal of Peace for Social Good was so big, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to approach all the audiences at the same time with one visualization, or maybe I can just make one visualization only for one of the audience. But the question will be which one of them I want to start approaching. So I like to sketch a lot. You're going to see a lot of sketches of myself also here. And for complying with this solution framework, I try to sketch all the audiences that we have inside of Peace for Social Good. So you're going to see here the little volunteers, the core of Peace for Social Good, also the funders. And I was just trying to make the analogy of how Peace for Social Good is making these bridges with the charities and also with the broader community. So I shared this. We have in Peace for Social Good, we have a Slack channel. I'm going to show you here. this is our Slack channel of Biz for Social Good. And you're going to see that in this channel, we are going to find new projects, people getting feedback, people sharing their submissions, and all this kind of stuff. So, for example, here, Frederick, he's the director of operations. He's sharing with us that we are going to start a new project. He's also in this in another project. He is also sharing that we are going to count with Steve Wexler. He is going to give us feedback about our visualizations, and there you're going to find all the development and the kickoff, and all the people start sharing the information. So I started with this. I share it in the channel, and then Frederick, yeah, the same person, he saw the sketch, and then he said, "Huh, I like this sketch. We need more funders." And I was like, "Huh, you wasn't saying something like that in the initial frame, in the initial scope. I didn't know that you really need the more funders." So yeah, I didn't know anything about fundraising at that point, and I remember that because he just gave me that input, I was like, okay, why don't we do visualization towards the possible potential funders for Peace for Social Good. So I came out with another sketch. This sketch is visualization where I came out with an analogy of Biz for Social Good Express, and it's a train that is taking all the volunteers around the world, and is taking the volunteers to all the non-profits too, and then showing the positive impact that we were having. And at the end, I was just having a call to action, like join us as a funder, and also make some research, like possible benefits for people that is funding nonprofits. And I also make some research on how nonprofits spend the resources that they're receiving. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. I'm going to start developing something like this. But that's the moment when Kevin came into the picture. And another thing that I found in Peace for Social Good is that they give me a mentor, right? So there are so many ways to get to the solution. And for me, that I'm just starting in data visualization, I only have been 1 year already using Tableau and all this career. Um, I can imagine there are so many ways to start developing, try to get to the solution that the client is asking for. But when you're using a mentor, when you have in the support of a mentor, then is everything is get more efficient because they already have go through the same path that you're trying to do. And here's when I am introducing Kevin, and I would like him to talk a little bit more about the experience that he has having in Biz for Social Good.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I gave Victor the heads up. I'm going to deny I'm a mentor because there's no like official mentorship going on. Actually, I think of more like we're friends and collaborators. He's even laughing because I told him I was going to embarrass the hell out of him doing this. It is true. I do mentorship with Data Viz Society. As you know, running a Chicago Tableau user group, I've definitely had lots of conversations with people. How our paths accidentally crossed was one thing I do with the Chicago group, and it's one of the only things that I keep saying. Like, this is the thing I want to keep. I keep wanting to change the user group, but it's to actually have like, let's all get together about the new Viz for Social Good project. And similar to what Victor's doing here, let me explain who Viz for Social Good is and explain to you, like, you know, the Slack channel and all that. Right? I kind of do that as an intro. But then I usually say, like, okay, I watched the video or I went to the first meeting. So I actually heard from these, you know, nonprofit clients. Come hang out in a Zoom call and I'll tell you what I heard from the clients. And let's look at the data, right? And almost like as a group, just sort of like a brainstorming and Q&A and, you know, what would you do? And maybe 10 to 15% of the people who hang out on that Zoom call actually do a project. There was a wonderful question that was in the chat, and I don't know who put it in there. They took it down almost immediately, but they were almost saying, like, should someone brand new who really does not confident like in their Tableau skills? And I would say absolutely yes, because I've never made a Tableau dashboard for Viz for Social Good, But even before I met Victor, I would go to the call or listen to the call on like, YouTube, play with the data, kind of tinker with it in Tableau. Never got to a point where there was something I want to publish and I want to, make it a big thing. But then as everybody else is starting to make their content, you're like, oh, that was a good choice. Oh, I would never have thought of that. Oh, that dashboard looks cool. Let me download it and reverse engineer it. You will learn something every time you just engage it, even if you never publish and make it formal like I did the project. So that's always been my thing, right? And if you want to, come find us, Chicago Tableau User Group. It's it's like a LinkedIn group. I will always post hey, I'm gonna do this project, right, that's going on. So we just did it for this the DEF one, which is in progress right now. And so that's how I met Victor. I think in this picture, Victor is this top row, second from the left. I'm in the second row, and then the guy from the Chicago TUG who participated in this particular one, he's in the upper right. That's Chira. He now works for Lockheed Martin. And so, yeah, Chira was presenting. I was hanging out, kind of rooting for Chira. And then Victor's presentation was really good. I introduced myself. He got that opportunity with CPI to be like a freelancer. I was like, do you know the freelancing community, Elevate community? So that, we hit it off pretty quickly. Anyway, so that's the, find these opportunities, find these community groups. There's no formal mentoring that's going on, but if you come and you hang out, you're going to accidentally be mentored, accidentally find friends and collaborators. And if I wanted to spend more time embarrassing Victor, I'd have this laundry list of how he's mentoring me. And he's got like 1 year of experience. I've been doing Tableau and visualization for 8 years. Yeah, is he bright red yet? He looks pretty bright red. The other thing I was going to say, he mentioned the solution framework. So this is one of the things that I get constant feedback when I do formally mentor people. I tell them how we do things at Discover, and it's something I've kind of picked up from Tableau conferences and people just talking about like design frameworks or flows of projects. And so, yeah, he wanted to learn it. So he's like, let me apply it as I'm doing this Viz for Social Good project. Yeah, so that first one is a really good one, right? Understand the problem, understand your audience. He almost made a sketch. No one had said anything about funders, right? They were talking about like the charities and the people who volunteer, right? That was like face value. This is the project. And he put the funders in there. And one of the people who works there is like, yeah, we need more funders. He accidentally said the most important problem they're having at Viz for Social Good, not the other nonprofits, but like the actual problem they have. Yeah, we're constantly trying to raise our own money because we're also a nonprofit. And so Victor went on this wonderful march into his sketches, like, oh, if it's for funders, let me do something completely different. So then he comes back to me and he's like, yeah, I've got this sketch, right? It's going to be like multiple slides. It's going to, maybe like scrolly telly. And I forgot what it was. Somewhere in one of these sketches, he's also like, oh, and I'm assuming that this is true. And I was like, perfect. You just said you're assuming something that the client needs, and that's why you do the sketches. Go back to the client and be like, I think this will solve your problem, but teach me where I'm wrong. And Victor immediately was like, oh, okay, I'll go find somebody in Viz for Social Good. We'll get on a conference call. And I was like, wait, what's going on? But yeah, we met Sarah Moore. She's the brand new, fundraising director of Viz for Social Good. I forgot her title, but she's in charge of like figure out this funding and this money problem. Like we have to pay for some of our bills. And as soon as Victor got into this conversation, it's like, I heard funder is a problem. I redesigned my entire project for solving funders. She was right there. Let me tell you, everything I've had as a brainstorming idea as the director of fundraising, and he went in a completely different direction. And so coming back to like the mentoring and getting into these projects and getting to know people and how do you operate, it's more than just Tableau the tool, right? It's how do we conduct ourselves? What does data visualization mean? What does the interactions mean? And yeah, we had a wonderful time in this session. I even told her, I was a little squeamish about telling her, I've done so many projects for you guys. I've never seen the donate button on your webpage. You guys are too squeamish to asking for money. So yeah, Victor, I'll pass it back to you because I think you can kind of take it there of like, so what direction are you going? Was there anything else you wanted me to tell, at least from that Sarah moment?
That's perfect. That's
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, this was my first collaboration too, and having Kevin as a mentor. I'm not going to change that. So we have this conversation with Sarah. I have the opportunity to start confirming all my assumptions, and at the end of the call, it was like, you know what, the visualization, the slides that you are
Hey,
developing is a
Victor.
good idea.
Vic-
Tell me.
Victor, I hate to cut you off. Somebody has a low battery and is about to have a Mac that's going to die. I hate if that's
Uh,
you and you're gonna
no, it's okay.
drop off. Okay. Okay. Just
It's
wanted to
okay.
tell you. I love when people
It's
tell me
okay.
that. Go ahead.
It's okay. So then we started developing a new idea. We agreed that the long slides that I was just doing, it was not effective for the kind of audience. We need something that is very impact, something that is fast, something that is telling you what to do right now. So we changed it from the longest slides, and then we started developing a new infographic just with the main metrics and also with the call to action. So here I started sketching again, some prototyping in Figma, and then I started doing the sketches in Procreate in my iPad, and the development, and then moved to Tableau, and then refine how I was going to calculate all the KPIs and how to keep this updated to the date. At the end, I have this infographic. You can also find it in Tableau Public. This is the infographic you can see here. Beast for Social Good have participated with 41 nonprofits. It has more than 700 volunteers around the world. And also, you're going to see that they have awards and also the presence that they have in their social media. Personal takeaways. First, using the solution framework. So happy to start now in this part of my career. Start now formalizing the structure of the process that I'm attacking every data visualization project. First collaboration with Kevin, and I also learn to confirm my assumptions by talking more with the users. And finally, this is the last one. This is actually a current project. You are the first ones in listening to my presentation about the visualization that I made for the Global Deaf Research Institute. The deadline is tomorrow. So we started at the beginning of this month, but the deadline is tomorrow. This is a new nonprofit that born, I think it was at the end of the last year, are they are trying to help the challenges that the deaf people are facing in our world. So they started developing a quality of life assessment, and they went to Nigeria because they were asking to this organization to go there to start helping them. They make a survey of a lot of people, deaf people in Nigeria, with all the challenges that they were facing. And here, well, the goals that they were having is, okay, we have this survey data. We need to do something with this, and you can give us recommendations in the design of the questions, in how are we collecting the information, insights about the different answers that we are having, the levels of satisfaction with some dimensions or with others, and also if you find some correlations between the dimensions, that will be also helpful. So I was telling before in the Slack channel that I was showing for this project, Beast for Social Good also contacted Steve Wexler. He is the founder of Data Revelation, so he's very well known in the data visualization world. He was also giving us feedback about how to analyze survey data, how to start um, visualizing the different results. Like, for example, when you have scales from dissatisfaction to satisfaction, how you're going to start looking at all the results among the different dimensions. So I also have this in my public Tableau Public, and you're going to see that I started trying to um, applying the tutorial that Steve shared with us about how to analyze the data of surveys. After that, so I start sketching some ideas and also prototyping. So sometimes I just get a little creative, and then I was trying to apply. So Beesworm, also I tried to apply a radio chart. But at the end, after some feedback from Kevin and also from Dr. Lauren, that he's the founder of the organization, they say like, okay, no, maybe let's keep with the simple visualizations for the dev communities, and then I just end up developing a long infographic where I am sharing all the recommendations for future surveys. When I was doing the cleaning of the data set and also the transformation, I just started spotting some things that you can improve over the time. And this is the pilot project that we're doing in Nigeria. And I can expect that they will continue doing this with more communities. I also sharing the main results, like the dimensions that were more satisfaction among the deaf communities and the one with less satisfaction, and also some correlations between the enjoyment of life and not enjoyment of life, and how other dimensions also correlate with this. I wanted to show you the final visualization. I think it's here. You can also access this one at Tableau Public. You can see here the key challenges that they are facing. I try to organize them by different categories, like the basic needs, the communication, the community, health, and also try to show like how the balance between negative and positive among the communities, and also try to show these gaps between, you can see gender, education, occupation, or life enjoyment. And at the end, I'm just showing the next steps and recommendations for future survey. So what I wanted to share with you here is that also you can see the evolution from the first dashboard, and now I'm applying a solution framework, and how I'm just trying to gain all of this for my future work. So these are the final visualization. Personal takeaways until now is just how to analyze survey data, and also that I received feedback from Steve Wexler, and also participating in this just give you like this thing that you are contributing with a good cause with the deaf communities. So just to finish, how to get involved. You can follow Biz for Social Good, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can see in YouTube kickoff meetings, live sessions. And if you want to volunteer, you can access to the Slack channel, to the webpage, and you know that now you can access to previous projects. And if you are working in a nonprofit and you are lacking for personnel or time, and you have interesting data that you can share to do something like the projects that I have shown you, you can also contact Biz for Social Good in this email, or also with a form that we have in the webpage. So yeah.
Okay, okay, Victor. No, thank you so much. This is wonderful. We need to like move to the next speaker as soon as possible. But no, thank you so much for Kevin and Victor, and everything will be recorded. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it to Varsha and Catherine. They're going to talk to us about resume building workshop in Tableau. They did this session in the Tableau conference. It was super successful, and I'm going to just pass it to you right now, immediately. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Emil. And just wanted to give a shout out to Victor and Kevin. Awesome work you're doing. Lovely to see how, Tableau is being used for social good. Just want to call out, due to time constraints, Catherine and I do have to hop at the half-hour mark, but we're going to do our best to, run through our presentation. And then we do have resources to share with you at the end to utilize. So welcome, to our presentation on building a Tableau resume. This session was originally what we presented at Tableau conference this year, but we repurposed our content to, present to you all today. And we will be covering how you can start out with building your Tableau resume and different ways that you can share your Tableau resume with others. Again, we'll be sharing some resources with you at the end so that you can learn how to build a resume on your own time. And really quickly, just always want to give a thank you to everyone who took the time to, attend our presentation today and hear us out. Really appreciate you guys being here. And then this is just a brief overview of our agenda. So we're first going to start off with really brief introductions of myself and Catherine, and then we'll jump into what really makes a great resume. And then we'll jump into, following that, how we built our Tableau resume for this session. We used a Tableau and Figma integration. We might skip this part again due to time constraints. And then lastly, we'll tie things up with, how you can share your Tableau resume with others. Now, brief introduction on myself. I'm Varsha Hunter, a Tableau solution engineer, and I actually joined Tableau right out of college. So before that, I was a stats major at UCLA, and I was really first introduced to Tableau in college. So that's the whole reason I joined the company, because I really enjoyed using the software and working with data to build some really cool visualizations. And I'll kick it off to Catherine.
Thanks, Varsha. Great to meet everyone. I'm also a solutions engineer here at Tableau. About 2 days ago was my 5-year work anniversary here. I had a very similar story to Varsha. Started using Tableau in school, and then began in this role right out of school as well. I work mainly with our financial services customers, and I'm really excited to talk through this topic today.
Yeah, and heads up, we are going to be speeding through things, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to always reach out to us on LinkedIn. I did throw my LinkedIn in the chat, but you can also easily just search my name. Okay, so kicking things off, what really makes a great resume? So a lot of us are familiar with text-based resumes. This is kind of the standard in a lot of different jobs and a lot of different roles. And text-based resumes are great at presenting information very straightforwardly and concisely, which is especially relevant since recruiters only spend about 6 to 10 seconds looking at your resume. Now, to prepare for our session, we got that chance to actually speak to a recruiter. And these are some of the key elements of a resume that they look for. The first thing is going to be your contact information. Who are you? How can we reach you? So this usually includes information like your LinkedIn and other social media platforms as well. And then they're going to look at your experience. So this encompasses not only your relevant, career or job experience, but also your educational experience. And then your skills and interests as well. These are usually relevant to your job or role, but sometimes people also like to include their special hobbies or interests on their resumes, which is also a nice touch, but not always required. And then lastly, a featured work section. This is really great to have on your resume. It basically just contains all relevant projects, which represent, tangible evidence of your skills and your work experience. Now, text-based resumes are great, and they have benefits such as, they are in a traditional format. They are what your recruiters and your employers are most familiar with and most likely require for a job application. They're also very clear and concise. Since recruiters only spend a few seconds looking at your resume, they present information very clearly, meaning that there's no fluff, and they're very easy to amend later on as you gain more job experience or you need to tailor your resume to a specific role that you're applying for. And then lastly, they do very well when submitted through an automated screening process. These types of screening processes have become, the societal norm. So it's really important to format your resume so it is approved by these different automated systems. Now, all these items, make text-based resumes great, but the cons of them are they have a limited visual appeal, meaning you don't have a lot of creative freedom when it comes to writing a text-based resume. You're usually limited to only 1 to 2 pages of information. So really less is more in this case. And, recruiters don't necessarily like lengthy or fluffy resumes. And then lastly, it's really difficult to highlight any key metrics or achievements on your resume. So it's just hard to make certain points stand out unless you're very strategic about how you're going to format it. Now, we are in no way saying that, you should get rid of your text-based resume. It's definitely still a requirement for a lot of jobs and roles. However, some of these limitations are all the more reason on why you should create a Tableau resume. So we've included some examples of Tableau resumes, not really a new concept at all. So this is one example from Eric Balash. He's a data viz developer and analyst. He posted his resume on Tableau Public. And the reason why I was drawn to his resume was that it has a very great aesthetic. You can see that he put a lot of care into how he designed his resume. And then the key elements of the actual resume are broken up into different sections on the dashboard. Oops. So you can see here, there's an experience section. There's a contact me section that links to all his social media platforms. And he also has a really great featured work section. So if you find Eric's resume on Tableau Public and interact with it, you'll see that you can hover over each of his featured work titles, and then this thumbnail will change. So really great example of how Tableau dashboards are dynamic and used to present different types of information. Another great example I wanted to showcase was from Lohan Seong. I think his is a great example of customization. You know, in Tableau, as some of you may know, you're really limited to the UI, meaning that you can only create like standard rectangular interfaces and boxes on your actual dashboard. But you can also utilize external like third-party tools like Figma to bring a custom element into your resume. So Lohan Seong actually used Figma to create a custom template. And this just makes your dashboard look a little bit more personalized and a bit more unique as compared to, you know, the standard Tableau UI. And then this was also a great example of a resume with me. I think it showcases the creativity that you can use when creating your resume as well. You don't have to stick to a very basic, you know, outline. This specific user, he shared his dashboard with me via LinkedIn. He took inspiration from Star Trek to build his own resume. So I think that really speaks to his character, his interests, and it really like catches someone's attention. You know, if you've ever watched Star Trek before, you'd recognize this and you'd be, you know, engaged to browse through his resume. And then lastly, you know, I've been showing many examples of vertical resumes, but your Tableau dashboard resume doesn't always have to be vertical or horizontal, I should say. Apologies. But it can also be vertical. So this is a really great example by Christian Felix. He created a vertical Tableau resume. It's still dynamic, it's still interactive, but the really great thing with the vertical resume is that you can easily print it out, you know, convert it into a PDF, print it out, and then easily share it with someone, you know, physically. So that really covers, you know, what makes a great Tableau resume. We showed you some examples. This next section is about, you know, our Tableau and Figma integration. So when building the content for this session, this is an example that was shown. This was what we had all our users at Tableau conference kind of create. Why do we love a Tableau dashboard resume? Again, because it's dynamic and interactive. The purpose of a dashboard is to allow your users to investigate the data and discover their own insights. They're also visually engaging, meaning that you have a lot of creative freedom with the dashboard. You can show off your own creative flair. And they're also just fun. You know, applying for a job is a very tedious process. So especially when you have to like update your resume or write a cover letter, but a Tableau dashboard just allows you or gives you the freedom to have more fun. So this again was what we presented in our Tableau conference session. This was the resume template that we shared with all of our users. This is containing all of my information, but you can see that each section of your standard text-based resume is shown here. So for example, I have my About Me section, which just includes a personal bio about myself. And at the bottom, there's also a Contact Me section, which links to different social media platforms, such as my public profile or LinkedIn. And then there's also a Gantt chart that showcases my experience. So instead of taking you through each of these sections here, I'm just gonna actually show you the workbook that we created. So here's that same dashboard, and you can see The Gantt chart section represents my personal career experience or educational experience. So hovering over each bar, a user can easily read, how long I stayed at a specific role, what I did at that specific role. And then for the skills section, we had our users create a radial chart to present their skills. There are so many different ways that you can present skills, even your experience, but just for simplicity's sake, this is how we chose to do it for our session. But the really cool thing with the skills section is that if you click on a skill within the radial chart, it will show you a description of that skill and how I personally used it. And then the paths of each skill, so the path of a circle or the path of the line in this radial chart for each skill represents how experienced I am. So you can see Tableau is almost all the way 360 degrees around the circle. That's just to showcase that I was most experienced in that specific skill. And then my featured work section was inspired by Eric Balash's resume. So I have that dynamic thumbnail, which allows me to hover over each featured work section. And there's also an element, a Tableau action, a URL action, where I click on a specific featured work, and then it will guide me to a web page where I actually have that featured work posted. So we will be sharing a version of this template with you at the end of this presentation, as well as our revised version of our exercises that we showcased in our actual Tableau conference presentation. So don't worry, you'll be able to get yourself hands-on with this and can build your own version of this. But jumping back to our presentation, again, we're going to skip the Figma component just for time's sake, but to build the template that you've seen, I use Figma, and you can always tell that it's a Figma dashboard, usually by rounded corners. That's like a dead giveaway if you want to know if someone used Figma to create their dashboard. And this integration, if you want to search for it yourself, you can literally just type in Figma to Tableau integration and you'll find it there. There's a great guide by the user that made the integration on how to use it as well. All right, now I'll kick it to Catherine to explain how you can go ahead and share your resume.
Thanks, Varsha. And Yamil, it seems like maybe my screen share got taken away. Is there any way you could re-grant me that access? I know we had tested it before, but
Okay, yes, let me check. That's strange. Okay, let me.
and if not, no worries. I just realized Varsha's still sharing, so I can just go off the first slides too.
But I think Varsha needs to stop sharing.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, let's stop sharing and then should be good with Catherine. Catherine, are you back? Yeah. Yeah, I see something, Catherine. I think it's working.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. Since we do have a couple extra minutes, I just wanted to point everyone to the Figma integration website. There are some really great resources on here on how to use the Figma integration. There is a walkthrough here available with an example that you can access of opening up a sample workbook within Figma, creating some different containers there, and then it walks you through the export process as well. So like Varsha mentioned, this is what she used to build the resume dashboard template. But if you want to test it out yourself and need the Superstore example to work from, and maybe test some things out as well, this is available. But there was a really great question in the chat from Josh of that most companies nowadays ask for a PDF of your resume as you're submitting an application. How do you actually share your Tableau dashboard? Like when does that come into play? So thank you, Josh, for helping us lead into this section. One of the main ways that we see these being shared is through Tableau Public, being the main sharing mechanism here, saving this to your public profile. What that does is it creates a shareable link when you publish the workbook to be able to hyperlink, screenshot the workbook that's been published and be able to hyperlink things from there. So I'll share some examples in the next slides, but this is really the first step is getting your resume published to Tableau Public. And while you're there, if you have some other samples published to your profile as well, and would like to showcase that you are available for hire, for helping with additional consulting work, you can select the Available for Hire button on Tableau Public. We had some great feedback from our Tableau conference sessions, not only from analysts and designers that came to our session, but actually from recruiters, people who are looking to hire great Tableau talent who didn't know that this was an option on Tableau Public, so we're able to share that with them. They're looking there now for people who have this Hire Me button selected, so make sure if you do not today and would like to go ahead and turn that on for your Tableau Public profile. Once your workbook has been published to Tableau Public, there are a couple ways that we would recommend including this in your existing resume and on other social media sites to get this into the hands of the public. So one way to do that is to hyperlink your Tableau resume in your text-based resume. So after you've submitted an application online, going in that path, I think where this would come into play is once a human gets into the loop. It's gone through that automated checker, and then when someone actually goes in and looks at your resume, even if you've shared a PDF, this hyperlink will is still able to be selected. So you could include a button like this at the top of your resume for someone to click and be taken either directly to your resume, maybe to your Tableau Public profile overall, whatever makes sense in your case. And this could be a button at the top. It could be hyperlinked in the text below as well. If you call out Tableau as a skill in a certain job, or if you have a skills section listed, you could hyperlink your public profile or resume there. You could also swap this out for a QR code. There are many free QR code generation sites out there that you could use to create a link to your public profile or to your resume and just include that. I opted for the upper right-hand corner of my resume. It could be anywhere on this PDF that you're creating. And you could even tie this in with your Tableau resume. So we mentioned Christian Felix's example, which could be really great for printing out vertically on a piece of paper. You could also have your QR code there. So if you are ever handing out resumes in person, the QR code is right there, ready to take someone to your Tableau Public profile. Our last suggestion here is maybe not so much on the job application front, but just for sharing with your community, is sharing your public profile link and your resume link directly on LinkedIn or any other social media. You could make this into a post with a screenshot of the resume that you created. You could add this into your About Me section. Some of these websites like LinkedIn have a skills section as well, so you could link the resume there to be shared. And with that, with any remaining time, we'd love to hear any questions and share these resources of this resume dashboard template that we've put together.
Anyone have any questions? I mean, this is great stuff. I mean, like, you know, I know so many people that have told me, hey, I had this resume building Tableau Public, and I was able to get hired, or somebody, you know, saw my kind of like my skill set and things like that. So it's always great to have that for a data, you know, visualization developer, somebody that is on, you know, looking for a job related to data visualization and things like this. It always help. Anybody have any questions? Anybody in the looking here in the chat? I think Victor, you have your resume in also in Tableau Public, correct?
Yes. Yes. I was looking at it, but it's not updated. That's the thing, that I was just updating the PDF version, but not this one. But I remember that there was Trailblazers, that they have like a complete how to say, tutorial of how to build your resume in Tableau Public, and I really enjoy doing it. So yeah, I need to come back to that one and update it. And I really enjoy how to link between the two versions with the QR. Yeah.
Yes. Anything else, Catherine or Varsha, that you want to, like I said, share? We still have time that you want to share. Let me know.
Yeah, it looks like Josh has some questions in the chat. Oh, looks like he raised his hand.
Yes. So Josh, can you Let me see if you can see or Josh. You should
Oh
be.
yeah. Oh yeah. So this has been awesome. Like it's been such an eye opener. I even shared some of this with the developers that I know in my group that were not able to make it. So thank you so much. One thing I really wanted to know is because they're using all these automated tools to like scan for keywords within your resume, you know, does have you gotten feedback on basically um, what they feel about resumes, interactive resumes created on Tableau, you know, and especially what I see a lot in the job market is, you know, also Power BI as well, you know, SQL and Python. Those are like the three main things people are looking for right now in the marketplace. So I wanted to know if that's something that would attract HR managers and recruiters, or something that's just a good to have, but not necessarily something that they're mainly looking for.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great question. Well, to start things off, I guess I would say, like, obviously it depends on what role you're applying for. Each different role has different requirements. And for some of those roles, like, it's gonna be a requirement that you know, like, you need to know how to use SQL, or you need to know how to write scripts in Python. So those are definitely it's definitely like a case by case basis. What role are you applying for? For specifically Tableau developer roles, they're going to want to see that you have some Tableau skills. So in that case, like, it would be great to showcase that you do have a Tableau resume. Like, that's a great example of featured work that you could present. But I wouldn't say that it's like a requirement for every single job. Again, it depends on the actual, you know, requirements for that role, whether they use Tableau or not, what type of job you're applying for. But I would just say, like, it can only help you. It can never hurt you. Whether a recruiter looks at your Tableau resume or not is, you know, completely up to them based on, you know, their bandwidth. But again, it can only help you in that sense.
I
Okay.
think.
Thank-
Go ahead, Catherine. Catherine is going to say something. Yeah, yeah. Later,
No,
later.
the only other thing I would add is that we don't believe text-based resumes are going away, like Varsha mentioned. This would just be in addition to making that text-based resume really easily searchable, having those keywords in there that recruiters are looking for. So that way, when someone does take a visual look at who you are and your application, that there is also this element there to share. I think what we found is that you know, you could be doing really great work internally for your company, but sometimes those examples are hard to share, especially with the data that's attached to them. So having a Tableau resume where there are some advanced actions and interesting view types can really show off your skills in a way that is possible to share with the public too. So it just is one more thing to add to your portfolio of work.
Okay.
What I have found, and probably Catherine or Bersha or even Victor, just let me know what you found. But what I have found is this: usually, the hiring person that puts that job post out there, right, the HR person, will may not go there and check your Tableau Public, but it's the hiring manager, that person that is going to work with you directly, or the people that are going to be your colleagues or the other Tableau developers that you're going to work with. They probably already know what is, of course, Tableau Public, and they will go there and check your profile in Tableau Public. So for them, it will be cool to see that you have your resume there. That they will appreciate that, right? They will be like, "Oh, nice, he have his resume in Tableau Public." I think that's the people that are going to definitely look at that. It's the people that actually know that there is something called Tableau Public. The other thing that for some people that are in the chat that were asking, another thing that could help you, it's Tableau certifications. You know, we have Tableau certified, let's say Tableau certified data analyst or certified Tableau specialist. Those type of certifications from Salesforce will help you, will definitely help you. So if you don't have them, highly encourage you to take them. They're not super difficult. I mean, if you can practice, study, There's a lot of resources online. It's hard to tell you like this is the best one. No, there's so many out there. Highly recommended that you certify in Tableau, and that will definitely help you. And you can put it in your resume. So that's the other good thing. Yeah. So there's somebody in the chat saying Serena Nelson. She said, I definitely look at the public profiles when I was in the hiring process. So you see that there's definitely, I mean, for example, I met Josh Tapley. He was the data visualization VP in Comcast. And you probably already heard about Comcast. They own like 30 different TV networks, right? So this is the highest guy there in Comcast. And Josh Tapley told me that he looks at every single Tableau Public profile of every single person that they hire in Comcast for Tableau. So, and they love to see the resumes for people that do that. So definitely will help you. But he's not the HR guy, right? He's the guy that understands Tableau. That he also have a profile in Tableau, and everybody that it's around him does use Tableau Public. So those are the people that actually I'm gonna take a look at this, and they're gonna like to know that you have one. I think that's why it's so important. Yeah. Any other question? Any other questions? So, well, we're only 5 minutes. And I know that Varsha and Catherine will have to go. So I would just wanted to say thank you to everyone. Here is a copy to do download. Correct, Catherine or Varsha,
Yes.
you want to say something? Yes.
I forgot to click one more slide forward, but we do have the dashboard template, a sample data set to work from with our character Sasha Surfstats, who is a data analyst at NASA, become a surf extraordinaire. So you can learn about her, but also update it with your own work history to then plug into the dashboard and build out. So we have this all available here if any of you would like to download it and get started building your own resume from a template.
Perfect. Can you copy paste that in the chat? I don't know if it's possible or not.
Yes.
And you will have to request access to the folder. So once you do, I'll receive it in my email, and I'll make sure everyone gets access.
Oh, great. I want to get it myself. Excellent. Thank you so much. Yes, it's in the chat right now. If anybody, if you need that, it's in the chat. Awesome. This is really cool. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that is here, to Catherine, to Varsha, to Victor, and everybody that participated. We will have another meeting next month, and just wait for that in the LinkedIn. And thank you for everybody. It's going to be Lunch and Learn, same thing, every month, all the way to September. And hope that everyone have a great week and weekend. One more day. Tomorrow's Friday. So, and thank you everyone. This was great. Great feedback, great presentations. Victor, you're doing amazing work. Always super fun. Super fun to learn about all of that, to be honest. I didn't know a lot of the things that you were presenting and showing, and Kevin, so that's awesome. And thank you everyone, and hope that everybody can build their own resume and keep working with Tableau and enjoying. I mean, we're here because we love Tableau, and keep busy. And thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Let me stop recording.